Hey, it's Courtney, creator of Wellness Mommy Mission, and today we're going to talk about crystals. So you're here to learn about crystals, and I'm so excited to share with you my tips and tricks on how to pick out crystals, how to cleanse them, how to program them, what do they all mean, kind of like an intro to your healing with crystals. So most of you have reached out about information on crystals, so I am making this video for you so that you can follow along and pick out your own crystals and what you might want to come into your life, have abundance with crystals and use them for crystal grids or just healing modalities with Reiki and different things like that. Today we're going to talk about the history of crystals. And for most people, it may be new to them, but crystals have been around in history for a very long time. Crystals have been used in culture all throughout the world. Egyptians, Romans, Native Americans were very popular in using crystals. They believed that they were very protective, and some of them for healing. Later on, crystals became more of a symbol of wealth and status, and people started using them as jewelry. And if you were in the churches, they had different like rubies and things like that. And even with Jesus, it's been around for a really long time that crystals were kind of like a gift of symbolization of wealth and riches and things like that. So I like to use them more as a healing modality, and that's where I like to teach my clients how to use them and healing their self when it comes to physical and mental ailments throughout the body. Some of the modern uses today is home decor, jewelry. I wear my jewelry. I have malas that I wear. I enjoy having crystals all around my house. It is a very decorative thing, but in my house, they actually do mean things, and I do program them to bring in certain things that I am looking for to create that awareness in my house, bringing in good things into my home and creating that love and surrounding that the universe can give through the crystals. My favorite way to use crystals is therapy and healing. When I work one-on-one in my soul sessions with my clients, we start to develop kind of like a underlying issue that they're going through, and then I pair them up with crystals and I teach them how to work with that crystal, how to program it for them and help them use it in a healing with Reiki and meditation so that it can help be more customized to you. Today we're using crystals for therapy and Reiki and healing, and this is so exciting for me because I love sharing this part of my gifts to people, is that I will show you throughout this series on how to use them to be healing and more customized to you, and throughout I'll teach you how to actually pick out your crystals and how to program them and how to cleanse them so that they're right for your intentions. So from here, send me your favorites. I want to know what kind of crystals that you like. What are you drawn to? What are your questions about crystals? I'd love to hear them. I'd love to answer questions if you do have anything further, if you didn't learn from this guide. But I would love to talk to you and connect with you and talk about crystals more. All right, how do we pick out crystals? This is a very good question. A lot of times you can go to the store and kind of just pick out, they'll have little cards usually that describe what those crystals are. But if you're starting from scratch and you have no idea, I recommend getting a crystal book. It's one of those that it's very useful when you have something that you're needing maybe a crystal for, and a book will help guide you and give you an insight of what crystals are best. This one is called Change Your Energy. I really like this one. I picked it up. There's a couple I have. This one goes through like different areas in your life where I'll just kind of show you like where this chapter is all about mental and emotional health. So it'll break down like different crystals that are good for that area. Another one is just, you can go on Amazon, it's Crystal Healing, little book of crystals. So there's tons of books out there that can help you. You don't have to spend very much. I always say one's good. Google's a great option too. So you can look up different crystals that you may want in your life. So that kind of is a way for you to get started. And then I would pick out like one to 3 crystals to start with. And once you know which crystals that you do want to work with and that you are searching for, then you want to go to an actual metaphysical store. and you can Google that in your local area, and you want to go and look at crystals. This is a fun part. Everybody likes this. I always say go and kind of like pick one that you're drawn to without knowing its meaning. That's kind of one of my favorites, is how to just pick out crystals, is I kind of just allow my body and I'm like, ooh, that looks good. So, and then I get home and I kind of look it up, and then it's kind of surprising what the meaning is and how I actually might need that in my life. So when you're picking out crystals at the metaphysical store, you can also search online. I know Etsy's got some. I know that there's different shops out there online that you can just search for. I always find a really good resource by Googling and then going to the different shops and looking at the way you can find very cheap crystals. And then if you're getting bigger clusters, the ones that are really, really big, anything that's got more points on it usually are the more expensive ones. So it just depends on your budget and what you're looking for. A lot of times crystals are about $1 to $2 if they're really small. So I just would say whatever fits your budget and what you're looking for. If you don't know where to start, I also have a link on my page at wellnessmommymission.com where there's a shop tab, and I have crystal kits that are available with essential oils that are paired just for those crystals. So if you need a place to start and don't know where to join, that would be my first suggestion, is going to my website, go under the shop tab, and you can search for different kits. I have one for kids, I have one for moms, I have sleep, I have focus, so different areas that you're looking for might be able to suit you. All right, so choosing your crystal. Maybe let's talk about sleep. I know a lot of people want better sleep, and so it's one of those that I talk to a lot of my clients that they want better sleep. So when you are looking for crystals, you would just look in your crystal book, find which ones are better for sleep, and you would write those down and look for them and shop. Amethyst is one of my favorites. Amethyst is great. I have it with me all the time, and it does promote better sleep. Next, we're going to get into when you're shopping for your crystals and what the different meanings of each crystal, the points and things like that. When you're looking at your crystal, maybe it has different features on it, and that's what we'll get into. No one ever explained this part about crystals. I just picked them out because they looked pretty. And now I kind of want to give you an insight, some simple tips on when picking them out, maybe can bring more abundance in your life. So here we go. We're going to talk about the different points and features of a crystal. I'll break it down for you really slowly. So when you're looking at your crystal and the top of them have a point, that means that that energy flow is going to point in that direction. So whether you're trying to transmit, you're going to try to receive energy from the universe, having that point is going to give you that of giving that energy from the top. When it has a double point, imagine that mine has a stronger point, but if it had a double point on both ends, that means that the energies are going at the same time. They're transmuting negative energy. Next is a twin. When you see a crystal that has 2 points side by side, mine doesn't really have it, but just imagine that this point had a second twin coming off of it. That would be a twin, also known as a companion. It balances male and female energy and also balances yin and yang. We have a cluster. This is one of my favorites. A cluster is when they all grow from the same base. This is great for group classes and group meditation to help everyone come together as a like-minded group. I like these when I am working with people in a group setting. This is also really good for group meditation when I am working with multiple people. So, rainbow. Rainbow is when the crystal catches the light and you see different rainbows within it. That just means it's going to balance all chakras and help you to cleanse your chakras. Phantom is another term where you see a phantom crystal shape inside of the crystal. That just means that the crystal will be able to connect with your higher self. Good for meditating and personal growth, karma release, and good for seeing the big picture in life. An iris face is with a 5-sided face with a tall top on the crystal point. It connects with our divine feminine and the goddess within. Generator, it's when they have 6 points coming to one. A stone that's very powerful in its energy and it balances the earth. If your crystal has a diamond within the side of the point, it opens up the third eye chakra. It's used for clairvoyance when they're trying to choose to see their inner wisdom. It also receives inspirational downloads from the higher self. Ashki lines. It's lines that are created in the crystal. These crystals provide very valuable information about the past, often associated with lost civilizations from Atlantis. This is going to be cleansing, charging, and programming your crystals. This is very important because you want to set those clear intentions when you're working with crystals. They're very powerful and they can also bring joy into your life. So I want them to be able to use to their full potential. So here's how. I recommend cleansing your crystals at least once a month so that you can get rid of the negative toxins and energy that have consumed within your crystals. If you're wearing them like I do cleanse these pretty often because I come in contact with a lot of people. When I'm working with my crystals one-on-one, I reprogram them every month under the full moon so that they recharge and give me the best energy for the month. You want your crystals to give the highest vibration, so here's how we cleanse them. The easiest way to cleanse them is to get a smudging stick or a sage, and you would just place the smoke and surround your crystal with it. Couple minutes. This is just to help release all that negative energy. You can also put your crystal in sea salt overnight. Another way is to charge them under the full moon. I just lay my crystals outside under the full moon, and when they come in, I reprogram them. After your crystals have been cleansed, then we want to set the intention. And by doing that, we would just get real quiet in our meditation and we would sit there and think about the intention that we want to program into our crystal. Simply by saying, this crystal helped me to fill in the blank. Now I bless this crystal to its highest good to bring in all that I need to receive. Then I like to charge them. Sometimes I'll leave them right in my windowsill so that the sun can beat on them. I don't go more than a couple hours just because sometimes the sun can actually dilute the color and eat away at the stone. Another tip is never get your crystals wet. That is something that a lot of them will soften the crystal and you don't want that to happen. My top ways to use crystals. Like I said before, I love using them for healing. I also love wearing them. It's one of my favorite things is to wear them as jewelry just because I use them for a lot of protective and also energy work. I wear them so that I can be my highest good, which is why I wear white. I also have one that is a black tourmaline for protecting of the negative energy. With my clients, I use them in chakra clearings and cleansings and things like that. It's my favorite way to introduce them to someone who has never used them before. And how I go about that is when we find out different areas that you want to work on in your life. And sometimes when we're out of balance in life, we tend to have more headaches, or we find that we have an injury, we're holding on to old memories and past and things like that. And we need to heal those old traumas. And how to do that is to cleanse them. And by cleansing them, I like to use crystals in this part. How to go about using crystals during a meditation would just be simply sitting with your crystal and getting quiet and still, allowing that crystal to download all of the information that you have asked to receive from the universe. I also like to use crystals while laying down mostly because it's an easier way for them to just, without rolling off. When using your crystals for energy work, this is my favorite way to use them. It's for energy healing. A lot of times we use them in chakra and in Reiki. This is how we start to balance our chakras and to balance our life. We have 7 different primary chakras, and each crystal can help program higher intentions into that area. Whether you need more confidence, you need more love, you need to see the higher truth, speak your truth, have grounding roots, crystals can help you to aid in those areas. Also with physical areas, if you have any chest pains, arthritis, stomach issues, throat cancer, things like that. Crystals can help. With modern medicine, crystals are a way for a healing at home that you can do yourself, along with your doctor. After your crystals have been charged and programmed, I would then lie down and I would sit in a very quiet space, put on some meditation music, and I would use a crystal of choice. This is a rose quartz, which is for the heart chakra. I would lay down for about 5 to 10 minutes and placing this rose quartz on my heart. I would just sit there and simply breathe for 5 to 10 minutes, and afterwards you can then say a prayer of thanking the crystal or the universe or God, whatever it may be, to close the ceremony. Another tip that no one told me about and I like to share with people is when I'm always working with my chakras, I like to have a black tourmaline at my feet. This helps me to ground in any situation. Black tourmaline is to ward off evil and protection, but also to help you ground. Whenever working with crystals, a lot of times we can always tend to get a little bit more outside of our body than we need to, and having black tourmaline is one of those that will help us stay in our body. I hope you enjoyed this small introduction to crystals, and if you did, please give me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you and what your favorite crystals are and what you took away from these videos. Thank you so much. Please reach me at wellnessmommymission@gmail.com, and be sure to check out my awesome guide for actually using them for holistic healing with health and fitness in my Soul and Strength ebook, now available at wellnessmommymission.com.